Seth Moulton announced today. Did you hear about this?
Yeah. The one thing I like about him is I heard that he was against Nancy Pelosi being reelected. That I'm okay with. Other than
I
that,
think that's all he's got, though.
it seems that
I think
way.
that's all he's got. And yeah, I mean, outside of that, it's like it's just more. I mean, he's just one of those very generic whatever, and he's vocally outspoken against single payer. So it's like, all right, there you go. You lost me really quick. He's got all the name recognition though. There is everybody knows who he is.
Right. And you know what? I think he's the third person in mass, the second dude. So that's just like totally sexist as fuck. Because, I mean, come on. Elizabeth is already running.
There you go. There you go. It's number 19. So, like, I think they're setting it up so that Joe Biden will like be a nice round number. Like he will actually be number 20.
And that's probably how many women will end up coming out about him eventually.
So what do you think's going to happen? Like, are you nervous? What do you think needs to happen to get out of a primary? Let me ask you that. I ask everybody that question. I have my answer. What's your answer? All right.
I am absolutely terrified. Last night I made a post that said I was at Occupy DNC for 6 days and I am going to Minneapolis. I don't care what plays out. I don't care what happens. I will be protesting them again. It's just a matter of for what? Because they're already doing Bernie dirty as expected. I think my biggest fear kind of keeps changing, but I
even your dog is pissed off about this.
I know.
Your dog's like, yeah, it's bullshit. What are they doing? That's awesome.
The Duchess is Bernie all the way.
You say DNC and it sparks a reaction in your dog.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah, because I left her for a week.
That's a well-trained dog. It's like my cat. Whenever my cat sees my merch bag out from under the bed, she gets sad immediately because she knows that means I'm going away soon. So she gets sad and she gets mopey. So I try to keep it under the bed unless I'm leaving soon. But yeah, for your dog, it's like DNC. Like DNC, no, don't go, don't do it.
She loves Bernie, so she takes after me.
Well, what do you think needs to happen?
Well, I think at this point, as many expected, I think it's very obvious that it's just let's get as many people in there so we can stop Bernie. I mean, right. I think it's just patently obvious. So, I mean, people are like, Bernie's dividing the vote. And I'm like, between the other 19 people, or like, why don't you guys care about that? So I think, I mean, it was hard working on the campaign last time, but this time, oh my God, it's going to be treacherous. We are going to have to campaign our asses off, because we're going against, his last time he wasn't known. So we could just plant the seeds and be like, look, there's this guy, you're going to love him, this, and this. And then, now it's going to be like, no, he's not sexist. No, and it's going to be like really difficult. So
are you formally campaigning for him again? Like you're working on the
fuck, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
Have you been going door to door yet, or what's been going on?
No, we haven't started that yet. We have our official kickoff on the 27th. And there's over 5,000 parties set up to kick it off across the U.S.
Wow. So how many are you gonna hit up?
2, because there are only
Not
ones
bad.
in my area.
Not bad.
But yeah, I'm just gonna. I mean, it gets me so hype. I miss it so much. So I'm ready. But I think like it's gonna be more difficult. It's already I find myself. I don't want to be one of those people who gets very ugly online. And last night I kind of, I felt myself just kind of like getting not joy because somebody just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, really, what offends me is when Hillary calls, Bill's accusers of, being walking bimbo explosions when they're rape victims. And, I just kind of went there and I'm like, it's true, but I don't want to go there,
So it was all savage, no joy is what you're saying.
It was. It
All right.
was.
All right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Some of the super delegates are already saying how they're just going to
Oh,
kneecap
yeah.
Bernie. Like that's their plan. Like if it moves to like they don't even care. Like they're not even going to look at where the votes are at. If it moves to a second ballot, they're kneecapping Bernie. That's their agenda. Yeah. So how do we, I mean, the way I see it, and let me know if you agree or disagree. I want to see Bernie and Tulsi team up because I think that if we're not so, and this is kind of paraphrasing something Lee Camp says a lot, if we're not so loud and big that they can't get away with cheating us, like we're so loud and so big that either we don't bring it to a second round or it's just so loud and big and apparent that they can't cheat us, no progressive is making it out of a primary. They're going to shove a centrist down our throats, and that centrist is going to lose to Trump anyway. That's what I think will happen.
I agree. And, I'm not certain that Tulsi is working with Bernie. I can't say for sure. I was on one of her conference calls with her team, and it sounded, she was kind of speaking in a way that was kind of safe. So I'm not sure if that was like.
She's got a good poker face.
She does. And I mean, I would love if she would just say, I'm dropping Bernie, here's my delegates. Part of me wants to believe, like I've met Tulsi, she's very sweet. We had a great conversation. I wrote her in as VP when I wrote Bernie in. But I just don't know. I really hope she's not the type of person that would run against him, because not to be like, it's her turn, but like he deserves this shit. He was cheated last time. We were cheated last time.
Well, I think it's just about who has the momentum. I mean, if I could design my just perfect ticket that I think would be just the best, like optimal ticket that we can hope for, I would actually put Bernie as VP and Tulsi as Prez just for optics' sake. But, right now, so much of the momentum is more with Bernie that it will be the other way around. It will be Bernie president, Tulsi VP. I'd support it either way. I mean, it's not like that's like, oh no, like, of course I would still support it 100% either way. And that's fine. I feel like the two have been in communication. So, well, I don't know exactly what's going on either. Neither one of us are in their brains, but I know that they've been communicating. I have a feeling that that's the plan. And part of this could be my optimism coming out, because I think otherwise we're fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think otherwise we have no chance. And that's just the reality. That's why when people debate the nitty gritty between the two of them, that's fine. It's fine to have the conversation. But at the end of the day, look, neither one is perfect. Neither one is ever going to be. They're both humans with flaws. I think they complement each other very well. I think some of the areas where Bernie's a little weaker, Tulsi's stronger, and vice versa. But either way, if they don't team up, we're not getting out of a primary. I just don't see it happening. And yeah, that would suck. It's just like we don't get out of, and then we're stuck with, and that's why they're setting up this Democratic clown car, where they just added another clown to the car.
They would rather, just like last time, they would absolutely rather Trump than Bernie. I mean, they make that blatantly clear every freaking day. I mean, they don't want progressive ideals. It's going to hurt their pockets. And we threaten them because we want change, and they're terrified. But yeah, I mean, my dream would be burn and turn 2020. Like, that's my absolute dream. I think Nina would be like the most kick-ass VP ever, but I think it needs to be.
I don't think she wants the gig. I don't think she wants the gig, though.
Well, did you see the video of me and her interacting on Sunday?
No, but what happened?
I met her again, and I was like, Nina, I was like, just so you know, we're burn and turn 2020. And I was like, let Bernie know. And she's like, burn and turn. I said, yes, burn and turn. Tell him.
So you think maybe that changed her mind? Maybe she's like, that exactly. This has a beautiful rhyme.
She was back like, Yeah, I
And
mean,
I'd be
that
fine
would
with that.
I mean
If it was Tulsi Secretary of State Nina Burney, I'd still, again, I'm still supporting. Like, what better, you know
sure,
what I mean? Like, but I've
absolutely.
heard Nina doesn't really want.
I don't think she does
Yeah,
either.
I don't
I
think she, and
really
I don't
don't.
blame her. I like her where she's at. I think that, she wanted to be involved with the campaign to help Bernie, which is great. And I think she could potentially make a run in the future, which
Yeah,
I'd be super stoked for. I would love to. I mean, hell, I can't imagine a scenario where I would ever actually work on a campaign, just because it's just not the side of the fence that I land on. Like, it just isn't. Um, but if ever I were to make an exception at the presidential level, I feel like Nina Turner would be that exception.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be like, wow, I'd be tempted. And if I ever made that exception in general, it would probably be something at the local level. Like, it'd be like somebody I
Sure.
know is running for city council or whatever. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Well, Bernie said his VP would be younger and a woman. He
Yeah,
made that statement. And I
yeah.
think that's so obvious because we knew that last time either. And from inside sources, I do know for a fact that Tulsi was his VP choice from 2016.
Okay.
So,
All right. All right. Well, there you go. Awesome. So what's been kind of the weirdest thing you've seen on the campaign trail so far?
um, freaking Ann Coulter saying she might vote for Bernie. Like, what?
If only he was more hateful. That was the fun
I
part about it. I
know.
mean, that was funny. It was a fun thing to talk about because it's like, how can you not just sort of address that? It's just a goofy whatever. But it's like,
Right.
when you look into the optics, it was just like, if he was only a little, if he was more hateful, I'd be on board.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think that he's going to get dirtier this time? Like, because he
Bernie?
was so nice to Hillary. Like, people are ridiculous. Like, he wags his fingers, so he's sexist. He campaigns 31 dates for her. But, do you think he's finally, I feel like he's got a bit of dirtiness to him. Not dirtiness, but like he's more brash this time.
More brash, sure. I mean, I think so. But as far as like abandoning, diplomacy, I don't think he's going to do that. No. I mean, I think that I think he has no desire to go that route. To the point where, like, sometimes I find it frustrating that he's not.
Yeah.
I think he's overly diplomatic to the
Yeah.
establishment. But I get it. He's trying to be president. I get it. But it's like, Bernie, they're still going to screw you no matter what.
Exactly.
Whether you're a little more outspoken or not, they're still trying to screw you. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could bend the knee live on camera for everyone to see. They're still going to try to screw you, and you're just going to piss off some of your base. So why do it is my question. But I'm not, I don't have the answer to that. But so no, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna engage in the mudslinging. Which in some ways I admire that about him. In other ways, I kind of wish he would get a little more gritty when it's warranted.
Right. Right. Exactly.
What do you think?
His new campaign manager is kind of a badass. He's pretty savage at times. So I like it because he kind of does it for him in a way. And like Roe, Miss Nina, and a few other people on his team called out Buttigieg last night because of his bullshit. Did you see that video?
I didn't see. I know what you're talking about. I did not see the actual video. Buttigieg lost me a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they all did. It's all like this. It's just the same. Like they do a platitude bullshit of like, hey, we're not Trump. And then they slowly take the mask off that. Oh, and we also don't support any progressive policies whatsoever. It's like it's just a DNC Democratic establishment connect the dots game at this point. And it's like I don't see and even in the hypothetical that one of them makes it to a general, they're gonna lose to Trump. Like they're not gonna beat Trump because you can't just be like, we tried it before. Hey, I'm not this guy and he's a jerk. That's not enough. That doesn't win an election. And that's that's all they offer. That's all they offer because that's all the donors will let them offer. And it's such a gross field.
It's to be harder for whoever they pick to beat Pence than Trump?
Wait, I'm sorry, repeat that?
Because everyone's, like, obsessed about impeachment, let's just
Oh,
say
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
we got Pence. I feel like it's gonna be harder because people are gonna be like, "We gotta give Pence a try,"
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I think it might.
I've been saying that from the beginning. I mean, I think impeachment would be such a dumb move politically. Like,
Yes.
because it's like now the GOP distances themselves from the unpopularities of Trump, but they can also cling to the popularities. And then they
Yes.
have somebody who is, by the way, much more dangerous in office just because he's actually efficient, which is Mike Pence. Mike Pence could really get some evil done.
Yes.
Not that Trump hasn't, but Pence could really accelerate that a good bit, I think, if given the opportunity and if he were to, get in office and then the midterms would, so yeah, I'm with you. I think it's kind of a politically tone deaf thing, but that's what we're dealing with. I mean, it's been this way for a long, long time, and it's only gotten worse. There is no organization better at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory than the Democratic Party. It's a parody of itself at this point, and it's because our Overton window is grossly far to the right, to the point where we just really have one party, and it's the money party.
Mhm. Well, do you think that, to me, Warren is such an opportunist, so many times, but it seems like she wanted to be the first one to be like, "Ha, I bowed down to you and got your stupid DNA test, and it was a failure. So now I'm going to announce I want you impeached, and I'm going to get like all this victory." And it's working. I mean, people think she's the greatest thing in the world because she wants him impeached.
Elizabeth Warren?
Mhm.
Really? I
She was
mean,
the first candidate to speak out on it.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if like people are loving her now. I know her poll numbers are still like only so, but yeah, I mean, my thing with her is every now and again she'll be attached to a piece of policy where you kind of turn your head and you're like, oh shit, that's awesome. But then you kind of are like, okay, let me proceed with caution. This is Elizabeth Warren, who has been an opportunist in the past, who has been a grandstander in the past. So, you kind of proceed with the utmost caution. While I do not think she is bad as the rest of the establishment candidates, I think she's better than a Cory Booker. She's better than a Kamala Harris. She's better than a Pete Buttigieg. She's better than Moulton. List goes on and on. I'm very, very skeptical.
Yeah.
Proceed with caution.
Some people want her as VP, and I'm telling
It's
you,
not going to
me
happen.
and Bernie will be divorced. Well, we'll be separated. I won't divorce him, but we'll be separated because I'll be hurt. I'll be like,
It's not going
I
to
will.
happen. Just
I
because of
hope not.
optics. Just because of optics, it's not going to happen because he can't. She's an older. So
Well, that's
he
true.
has to have somebody younger. Like that's just optics. A lot of people said that's why. Well, one of the many, many reasons why Hillary wouldn't consider picking Bernie, because it's like, well, you can't have two older people. And it's like, yeah, but you can bend the rule when that person starts a movement. When the
Yeah.
person's responsible for a political movement, you can kind of bend that optics rule, which isn't even a real rule, by the way, but it's just an
Yeah.
optics thing. You can bend it when they start a movement. Of course, they didn't do that anyway because they had no interest in it, but we all know what happened next.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
WikiLeaks leaked her list of potential vice president candidates, and he was like 30 something, and he was last. Bernie.
and there was an eye rolling emoji right next to his name.
Yeah.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make